All right, guys. So Bitcoin dumped, and I want to say it kind of surprised us, like it surprised all the other creators, but it really didn't. You know, if you've been a subscriber of the channel, then you know we've been talking about this for quite some time. I went against the herd. You know, I'm definitely the black sheep here, where I was saying, I don't know, man. I don't know about this move. There's a lot of liquidity. I've been screaming about these two lines and saying that coming down to 53 is a lot more bullish long term, and it's that it makes more sense. You know, I built my narrative. And I said, guys, it's probably going to come way down before it comes up. And sure enough, here we are. So, you know, if you did get rinsed on this move, truly, I apologize. It sucks. Losing money is horrible, but use this as a learning opportunity to, you know, just keep in the back of your mind that anything can happen, guys. Anything can happen in these markets. You're not guaranteed anything. And that's a little something I want to touch up. I'm a technical trader. I'm not an emotional trader. I don't care if price goes up or down, but I feel like a lot of people are emotional traders. And I feel like this time around, this cycle, it just feels like people are entitled. I don't know. It's like retail is entitled to have a bull run. And I think that is potential to get a lot of people burned. So I really encourage you to just have an open mind when people say, people like myself, I'm sure there are other channels that saw the dump coming as well. But most of the people that I've seen anyways were saying up only, up only, up only. And so I really encourage you to, when you start to see these videos and people that might have been around the block, and I've been here, I know the cycles, you know, to really have an open mind with what we say. You know, I don't say I want it to go down because I missed the boat like people seem to suggest. I can make more money trading than I can buying. But, you know, I've been around the block, and especially for the people that are new in crypto now this year, anyone that's been in crypto for the last year and a half, literally only know up only. You know, you only know up only, and that's not a reality, right? So I keep it real. People don't like it, but it is what it is. Anyways, let's get on to the update here. Now, look, we are building a lot of liquidity above us. We already know that. We already said that, you know, hitting this line makes a lot more sense than hitting this line, which obviously now it happened. And I was saying it not in hindsight. I was saying it in foresight. And so now I want to bring your attention to, in my opinion, what the number one level that we should be watching and looking out for here on Bitcoin. Okay, so we snipe these. We don't need these green lines anymore. Don't need to have them on the chart anymore because it hit and we're good and we're all right. Everything is well. But now we got to talk about this. Okay, so the most important number right now for Bitcoin, in my opinion, at this very moment in time, is going to be this low here. Now, I'm on Binance. I don't actually trade on Binance, uh but this is the one that I use for YouTube. So this is the most important number, 5571. Why is this the most important number that we got? Actually, we got two important levels. That's one of them. Actually, that's not even the most important one, but that is one of them. But we're going to talk about this guy here. Okay. This guy is actually both. We're going to say both. Sorry, I'm flopping and groping here. These are two very important levels. Okay. Very, very important levels. Why am I saying that? Right now, your daily structure actually finally your daily structure has flipped. Okay. When I say flipped, I mean we've made a new low now officially. However, we don't know where the target's going to be. And that's why this is going to be a very important number. Right now, your daily structure has now went from down, up, and then now lower low. Okay. On this point here, I just drew that horribly. Great. Fine. Cool. It's dandy. Internally, your daily structure prior to that was this, right? Long story short, you guys been around the channel, you know I've been talking about it for a very long time. We got to watch for these SFPs. Now, I think, like I said, retail is a little bit too confident, okay? A little bit too confident. I'm still seeing on Twitter, did you buy the dip? I'm still seeing on Twitter, oh my goodness, we're going so much higher. I'm still seeing that. And you know, I made my case. I built my case for how people were so bullish at the highs and everyone else was saying I was the only bearish one and this, that, and the other. But uh, you know, it's just look, it is what it is, right? We're not gonna beat a dead horse here. There's no point. But my point is right now, I feel like retail's a little bit too entitled at the moment. They think it has to go higher because it's a bull market. It doesn't have to do that. We don't have to do that. So why are these very important levels? Well, it would basically indicate where your next target is, right? When we started SFPing these highs and I used Ethereum as confluence and I said the target is the low and people thought I was crazy, here we are now. And really, look, guys, the best advice I have really is you don't even need me or any other creators to tell you what's going to happen. Just watch the market. The market is going to tell you. I knew that this was going to happen and I screened it because the market told me that. So This would be a good indication of what the market might do next, and might, because that's what it's going to tell you. So these are two very important SFP levels, okay? They are liquidity points, and depending on where we close this candle here in like half an hour will, very much so influence where price may go next. Now, I don't believe that the dump is done dumping. I don't. And the reason I don't think that the dump is done dumping is for the same reason why I thought that this was not the low. And it is very simple, and it's for one word and one word only, and that's accumulation. I made a case for how we didn't accumulate on these lows, and that's not what you want to see for a sustainable move to the upside. We already know that the market makers don't want to send it back to the all-time high. And so in order for them to do that, they're going to need to accumulate. And so what I would like to see for a healthy move is Bitcoin needs to stay down. First of all, it needs to go down. It needs to stay down. It needs to establish some form of range on a smaller time frame. It doesn't need to be this 4-month kind of range that we had here, but it needs to establish a new range. And in my opinion, in order for for Bitcoin to be bullish and actually have a continued cycle, we need to accumulate. This is not my like, we need to. This is not a want. We need to accumulate in order to go higher. And getting these wicks where you have a big move to the downside like this, and then we rebound 11% back up to the upside. Though, remember, watching these two lines, where I don't know where my second line is, but watching these two lines could potentially indicate a target of coming back to these highs. And I'll tell you this, guys, if we come back up to 70K, you're coming to the all-time high. There, we have nothing left up here. There's no reason for us to come back up to 70K and not come and take the all-time high. So that when you're building your narrative, that's to suggest, okay, well, if we really start getting acceptance back into this range, we're talking about all-time high. But I just built a case right now in one word, accumulation, as to how we can't make it to the all-time high. You can't. We need to accumulate. We need something like this in the previous cycle that we had, where you had a 50% move to the downside, and then it stayed down relatively. It stayed down. And, how long was that? That was a 2-month accumulation. Okay. Same deal. Bitcoin needs to do the same thing. It needs to go down. It needs to stay down. It can't do this false hope, this you know, uh, arrogance of it can't go down. And this, what was the word that I used earlier? Entitlement of, oh, up only, up only. It needs to go down. It needs to stay down, and it needs to accumulate, in my opinion. And why, right? Why? Why does it even need to do that? Well, obviously they've had many failed attempts at the high. We know that. We've said that many times and we've seen it, right? But also it will shock the market. People are calling this crash similar to the COVID crash. I don't think it's anything even close to the COVID crash. Not at all. I mean, from the all-time high, sure, we're down 35%, and that may look scary, but look at how overextended we are. Like, all we did was take back a 2-week pump. Like, all this blood, and all we did was just give back a 2-week pump. This pump from 50 to 74 happened in 2 weeks. All we did was recover a 2-week pump. That's all we did. So while people are saying this is a COVID dump, this is a COVID dump, and people, again, the entitlement, I'm gonna sit here and tell you again, like, I don't even think that the dump has started. Truly, I don't. And I think it can come a lot lower. I think market cipher B looks horrendous. We've already been over it. I myself, all of my market cipher colleagues have all been over how it doesn't look great. But this, to me, is not at all reminiscent of a COVID crash. Not at all. I think COVID was a very scary time, and this doesn't scare me at all. We're still in the range. Guys, if you pull a range, if you get a box, like, you could, okay, maybe the range is adjusted a little bit, but you're relatively still in a range, as opposed to the last cycle where you really broke down, right? You were up here for however long, and then you broke down and you stayed down, right? We're still in our range. So this is not scary. This is just, if you saw this on the 1-minute time frame, you wouldn't say like it's a crash. This is just the range. We're just in the range. So we'll have to wait and see. We do have plenty of reason that we can go lower. I like the area of coming to 43K for a couple reasons. Number one, it'll give Bitcoin a nice, solid foundation, a foundational spot to accumulate. Look at how we had a little bit of an accumulation here, but here we had nothing, and then we fell right through this zone. I told you guys that we were going to fall through that zone, that was an important low that we were probably going to take. I told you, okay? Now, by the way, guys, please don't take this video as me saying we're going down straight from here and that's it, and tomorrow we're going to be at 40K. You could be at 40K tomorrow. You could be. You can't say, you never say never. But I'm not saying short it right now. That's not what I'm saying. We're talking the macro of it. People are freaking out. People are panicking. Fine. But you know, if we come back into the range, we're really starting to talk about all-time high, and I don't think we have enough juice right now to make it to all-time high. I don't. I don't. The higher time frames don't look good. Market cipher A on the weekly time frame gave us a blood diamond, so you know, historically that leads to a lot more downside, and I think that the conversation of really dropping and having a real move to the downside really comes into play, especially if we start closing below these two lines. So that's what I'm looking out for. I'm still looking to giga short because look, I'm very well aware of what happened. I'm very well aware of how we got here and how overextended we are. Another reason why I like 43K and why we could be at 43K tomorrow. Look, I told you guys that we were primed for a 10% move to the downside. We got that. Or a $10,000 candle. We got it. So we can't say never. You can't say, oh, Geo doesn't know what he's talking about, because Geo did what he did. Like, Geo knows what he's talking about. But look at this now, right? This is something that is absolutely horrifying. Don't know why I said it that way, but I kind of like the way it sounded. It sounded spicy a little bit. Let me tell you what's a little bit horrifying, okay? And then I'm gonna let you guys go. On the daily time frame, your 800 EMA. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Your 800 EMA on the daily time frame has not been touched since October 2023. We have literally, and you could see it by the EMAs, we have literally been in up only mode. This is why I say if you're new to crypto, all you know is up only. You're gonna learn the emotions. It's like seasons, you know, winter, spring, whatever. We've literally been in up only mode. And this is why I say, like, that's how overextended we are. We are so overextended that Bitcoin had a 35% move to the downside, 33% move to the downside. And we're still, from where we are now, another 20% just to get back to the EMA. Just to get back to the 200 EMA or 800 EMA. Just to get back to it. No, that's the 200 EMA. No, that's the 800 EMA. Just to get back to the EMA. We're that overextended. That's how much of a fast move we had to the upside. This is why I've been screaming it, screaming it. I'm like, you guys, they gave you 74K. They gave you 74K. You wanted more? They gave you 74K. So anyway, look, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's gonna do this for sure, because you can't say that it's gonna do it for sure. Just like you can't say it won't. We could be at 43K tomorrow, guys. Don't think that that this is done just because we went down however much percent. If you think, oh man, we went down 30% in 4 days, 5 days, it has to bounce now. It doesn't have to do anything. We've been literally up only, literally for a year and a half. Anyways, that's really all I got. That's the update. I mean, I'm not surprised by it. I still think things are overextended. I'm still bullish on dominance. Nothing else is new. You know, I'm bullish on dominance. I was very clear about that. I said your alts are going to bleed. I think the alts are going to continue to bleed. There are certain alts that I'm looking to gig along. Other alts I'm right now giga short, and I'm not really looking to jump into bed with the devil here, guys, because I know what this game is like, and I know that right now people's thought is, oh man, Bitcoin's down 30% in 3 days. Surely it has to have a bounce. Well, I'm gonna tell you guys, this, it already had its bounce. I'm not saying again that we're not going to get back up, but you already bounced back up 11%. 11%. We're in a 5-minute range today. This 5-minute range is like $13,000. Or sorry, is like 13%. Right? We have a $6,000 5-minute range. That's the volatility that you can expect, because that's how overextended we are. And that's how much, in my opinion anyway, and I could be wrong, but so far, I haven't been wrong. Man, a lot here. Like, I don't know if it's the arrogance or if it's the entitlement. I think it's the entitlement. People think they're entitled to a bull market. Guys, if we start to close below those levels, those daily levels that we just talked about, you start to close below those, it's not looking good. We're really going to start opening the door for this potential macro PO3. And people aren't going to like it. People are not going to like it, but they didn't like it before. If they listened, then they would be okay. We have a lot of liquidity being built up, that we built up. This is what happens when you have up only, guys. When you don't have proper accumulations, you get really fast moves down. So look, I'm not saying in the slightest here. I already know people are going to get triggered. If you're going to get triggered, just click away. I'm just going to remove all the comments. Look, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you can never say never. And let's just say over the next year or however long, Bitcoin decides to take back all the gains that it gave you. This is no different than the PO3 swing short that I took on stream with you guys. Go watch my last video if you didn't see it. I took it with you and I told you and I explained it and I built the case. This is no different. Don't think we can't come back down here. And I'm not saying we are, but if we start closing daily candles really like low and we start faking people out, the arrogance that's going on, you know, the entitlement that's going on. I've been around the block, man. I've been around the block. I've seen it. Don't think we can't see a 15K Bitcoin again, because you can. You can. And just because you think they can't, because of the inflows, that's exactly why they can. That's more macro stuff. We're not talking about that in this very instance right now, but you know, I believe the door for down really, like, we started knocking on the door for real. For real. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. If you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can hop into some scalp trades with me like we did this morning. We took 2 scalp trades this morning. I'm still in one of them, scalp shorts that we took over here. So make sure you make sure that you subscribe with the notification bell. I do everything live. I tell it how it is, man. I keep it real with you guys because I don't want you guys to lose money like a lot of people do in this very optimistic bull run. Bull run. Anyways, all the links are in the description. MEXC, KSEX, Market Cipher, Breakout. You guys know, man. And join the Nexus VIP Discord also in the description. So that's it.